Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Zwift Community Live broadcast of the Zwift Community Live Test Labs, our launch event, the first of what we are hoping is going to be many races out on the Test Labs today. We'll be covering every category. We've got the A's, the B's, the C's, and the D categories out here today. Test Labs is all about pushing the platform as an e-sport. We are looking to set up all of the best circumstances, the best settings that we can in-game in order to get the most competitive and entertaining racing. We've got 2:30 to go to the start of the races. First thing I want to say, though, for sure, for the Test Labs, this is a community event, and it's all about getting your feedback. After the event, if you are watching as far as a uh, viewer goes, or you are racing, especially if you are racing, and you have feedback about that, we will be posting a questionnaire for everybody to check out. Go ahead and make sure to find that on our Facebook as well as our Twitter. We'll be linking. It'll be a Google Doc. So one other thing I want to say too is that we do have a Discord. There's a little right there. We're going to be throwing a link out there. And for those of you that are racing in the race out there, we're going to be adding all the teams like back in the day. Very much going back to about 2 years ago in some ways, the way that we would handle a lot of the broadcast, the way we'd be bringing in interviews with the riders during, after DSs. Jump into the Discord. The Zwift Community Live Discord is getting a revamp. For those of you who already have a link to it, already are in it. Awesome. If you're looking for the link, I'll be finding an admin to make it happen in all of the chats. I'm going to be linking that right now to any of the individuals that would want it. I'm going to go ahead and throw that as well into the chat right now in the broadcast. You're probably going to hear me for a second time here real quickly, but the Discord has been linked. There it is in the broadcast right now. Jump on in there, and if you need a channel for your team, make sure to let us know so that we can find you when you win your race. No, so we can also have some interactions. Make sure, jump in there. We'll also be doing announcements in there as well. We got 41 seconds to go to the start of the race. All the offensive power-ups are on. We have taken off experience as well as drafting power-ups. Double draft is on. And you might be rewarded a little bit more for attacking today. We'll leave it at that. There's some background stuff that we've done as well to the game that we want to make sure that we are testing to see how it works out for the race situation when it be proven in results. Good to see everybody in chat. We, as always, do have social media integration. And we do have, it looks like Chris Sanders here is chatting away with us a little bit, saying he's going to give it a go. If you do have questions, comments, anything like that, bring it in. Chris is saying yes. Christopher Inez saying what's up, bro. So good to see all of you hanging out in the chat. It looks like we are off to a start here in the B category and the C category. The categories are separated out today, just so you guys know, by simply having 3 laps and 4 laps for the A's. So the A's are going to be 4 laps as well as the B's, and the C and the D category are going to be 3 laps. So we're looking to make sure that everybody gets finished right around the same time rather than trying to cover things separately in a way where we're waiting up and waiting up and waiting up. And it does look like off the front here. I did see a Pro Jersey just a second ago jumping out onto course here. We are seeing the Melting Man here, 3.9 watts a kilogram. So good to see him. KRT has quite the force out here today, I did notice. I'm going to be taking a quick look here over at zwiftpower.com as we do head on over toward the Watopia Hilly. Now, Watopia Hilly, old school. This is the oldest school course out on Zwift. This is the first course that you were able to race or ride, actually, when Watopia did launch. So most familiar course, I would think, to everybody that has been around since the start of Zwift racing. And this is definitely one that has some of the most action. Now, I do want to give an explanation why we chose this course is because it tends to have a lot of dynamic racing on it because of the nature of the kick into need of continuance onto a downhill, and then again a little bit of a rest and reprieve and back into the S's. 2 main places that you are able to really put any kind of a pressure onto the riders out there. Now we are seeing Van Gogh here from BZR here coming out of Belgium. Moving to the front is going to be Jeff Rooney, the Kiwi. Raced against him many a times. Phillips recently over the weekend won the, I believe it was 35-39 national championships. Congratulations to him on taking down that national championship. Now showing up in game here, James Phillips, as well as a second place finisher at the UK national championships for Zwift. We do have Levy. Of course, just kidding, of course. Jonathan Levi from Zwift Hype here riding for the KRT team, making his way forward 23 miles per hour currently here. Definitely going to be interesting to see how the double draft ends up playing out, but and what kind of speeds the riders are going at. 10 watts per kilogram coming from Levi here. Vang here trying to follow it up from the KRT team, as you can see, and it will be, it looks like, Bergen also from the Vikings team. All of the old school Zwifters here coming out of the woodwork here. Levi does have a 3-second gap, though, immediately. 196 beats per minute right now. Wilson here going to keep it calm, it looks like. Just steady 6.5 watts per kilogram. Of course, calm relative there. Will Levi be able to hold on to this gap over the top here? Lionel V. Austin perhaps thinking that this is a situation here from the Canyon ZCC, CC team now, ZCC team, trying to go across. It looks like Belgium here from Vision also coming out of France. Hodges is going across as well. The gaps are starting to open up, but Levi's got 9 seconds solid here. And with the background changes here, we'll see how this ends up playing out in the A category. Now, I'm going to jump on into the backwards just a little bit here for the B category and see if we can find a few of the riders. Now, we do have Show Air 2020 here showing up on the day as well. We'll have to wait and see if we can find any of the ladies out there, but I do know, yep, it is going to be Paulus here. Shanna Paulus has shown up on the day. Let's go ahead and jump into the B category, as it looks like the A's are trying to chase things down here. It looks like it will most likely be coming back together here, but amongst the women, we'll be definitely getting results here for the genders as well. We'll be separating out the men and women at the end. But it does look like Shanna Powers here solid, 5.4 watts per kilogram coming out of the US of A. Looks like Witkowski now here as well, and it looks like the chase is on with about 16-second difference up to Barry for M. Cox here now. But Paulus now working with some of the men here. We did ask as a you know, that's another thing when it comes to the women's racing. We definitely want the feedback there as well. Do you like having results at the end with a mass start? You know, everybody's going to like a different kind of racing, though, too. You can't satisfy everybody, obviously. But, you know, the general consensus is how people like to race. And we did ask Show Air 2020 when we said, hey, what are you guys thinking? And we took their feedback, and they said, hey, we like racing against the men sometimes. It'll be great to see how that plays out this week here. So toward the front end of the race, though, in the A category, I am seeing a couple of B's mixed in with it. Lionel Viasen going with Casey Shum. Interesting to see here, actually, as Viasen's pushing at about 6 watts per kilogram. This is a counterattack here. Casey Shum looking to jump on the wheel with double draft on out here today with Balenciaga here coming out of Spain, looking to jump back onto the wheel there with 3R. So 3 off the front here. Looks like Bergen, 4.7 watts per kilogram, 33 miles per hour on the downhill here for the A category. Vang from the KRT team looking to work it with him perhaps as they come across. Viasen here now. It looks like 5.1 watts per kilogram. Steady effort here as they look to keep the speed on the downhill now. Let's go ahead and see if there's any chatter coming on through. Has anybody noticed anything would be the question as well. Mark Jones, good to see you in here. So it looks like breakaways happen well. Kind of like when a kilometer zero, someone from a cheap team tried to get in front of the camera. Wait, what's going on here? We've got Johnny Noblet hanging out in the broadcast here. I'm going to have to read through this a little bit here. And he's saying try to get in front of the camera. Guess that is Levi. Well, Levi from Zwift Type seems to have all the hacks to get in front of the camera. So it does seem to be working well. Hertz noticed it. RTS. So Casey Shum is saying that it absolutely hurts. So he's saying that he notices what's happening here. So we'll have to wait and see how this ends up playing out here. Is the chase going to be able to bring this back here? Are these riders being rewarded for the effort that they're putting in? Will the double draft really be able to give the resources here to Casey Shum and the breakaway here in order to work together and hold on to the gap that they have? They are sitting at 3.7, 3.2. It looks like the group does have the wattage here at Rooney here at 3.0 with an aero power up. Now it looks like coming from the rider going off the front with Malhani here as well, 7.1. But looking to perhaps Phillips closed the gap down here. Front pack is slowing down a little bit here. Vyastin here now looking 7.5 watts per kilogram over this little bit of a bump here as they head into the Italian village. Vyastin here 8.1. Now we're seeing Shump here able to hang on to that wheel just barely now. Phillips trying to go across here, and it looks like the pack is absolutely splintered though at this point, with it looks like Tibe here just hanging onto the back. Van Geit here 5.1. Gags here now to the Netherlands now at the back as well, looking to close that gap down as it is 2 seconds says open up. Gags is going to have to go here, racing for 3R, holding on the Van Geit's wheel here on the Belgium. And now it looks like it may be all coming back together, but Vyastin continues. No, it's Phillips with a counterattack from Canyon ZCC now here. Copes is trying to go along with it, but after enough attacks, the group might not have the effort that's needed. First lap in, and already things are absolutely splintered here out on course. Back onto the B category here now as we are seeing the chase here for Shayna Paulus here amongst the women. I do believe she's first place overall currently in the amongst the women, excuse me, not overall, but amongst the women out here today. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the Bs currently. It does look like it is going to be Patrick Wetstein, though, off the front a little bit with, I believe he's in and amongst the leaders right now in the A group right now. But amongst the Bs, it will be Michael Cox, get to the chopper, as well as G. Blundred, making the chase. Looking through, though, Shayna currently sitting, it looks like 35th overall, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th place for Shayna Paulus right now. About 48 seconds back from the leaders, but only 4 seconds off of Marshall here, who has made a little bit of attack, it looks like, in that B category. So interesting to see the group here. This is the lead group, actually, amongst the Bs. Shayna has made it, so good to see here. We are seeing a burrito power-up now being popped, it looks like, amongst these B riders here. Back in with some of the C category, though, as well. We're going to see if we can jump in with them. We definitely want to be making sure all of the categories are getting their time to shine. And we do see, it looks like it's going to be, this is going to be a tough one for Nathan to pronounce. We've always have a little bit of a struggle here. The struggle is real. And it is going to be Shorgan Hummer, I believe it is, riding for R2. Now, with Szymanski holding on to his wheel. Good to see Michael Szymanski out here jumping into the broadcast again and into the racing from the KRT team. He'd show up for every single race, so it feels a little bit like the old school days here with Szymanski hammering away in the broadcast. So this is the lead group amongst the C's, I believe, and as they head into the sprint section, currently 54th overall amongst them out of 123. Solid result here for their first go amongst the for the Zwift Community Live test labs here. So thanks everybody for showing up with well over 100 riders in the first go at this test here now. Now the attacks were fast and furious out the front there. It was shut down in the A category. It looks like it is going to be Bergen here from the Vikings here trying to give it a go as well. 166 beats per minute toward the front now of this pack. Now we are seeing, it looks like, another counter here maybe coming from Alhani. Iverson now going as well out of Denmark here. There's a burrito power-up, though, coming from Casey Shum. The offensive power-ups are on here, boys and girls, and this is perhaps a serious attack here. 5.9 watts per kilogram. Looking to get out the front. Immediately gets 2 seconds here. I'm wondering with the current settings if this is actually allowing the brakes to happen a little bit faster, as he did gain a lot of landscape there from a little bit of a kick here. So now it is going to be Iverson here shutting it right on down. Vyastin now comes across 6.2 watts per kilogram. Looks like everybody's looking at each other a little bit as they do head through the S's here. That initial watts per kilogram, and if we take a look over at what the efforts have been so far, I have a feeling that we're going to be seeing some extremely high watts per kilogram in the race out here today, with a pretty high effort here in order to hold on to these kind of paces. 5.2 watts per kilogram coming from Bergen so far. 5.0 from James Phillips so far for the first 10 minutes. What kind of a lap time, though, are we going to get? Going to be interesting to see. We're going to have to take all these stats down and figure out exactly how this plays out. But Vyastin here, now another attack. Does not want to slow down. 181 beats per minute, 4.6. Allowed to kind of just roll off the front here. Though 368 watts, 465 now we're seeing. I do believe he rolled off the front perhaps with the Ghost power-up. Now we do not have the broadcasting specific tools here right now so that we can see the ghost power-up used over his head, and then he kind of becomes just a little bit transparent. Instead, the riders who do use the invisibility or ghost power-up, they will just disappear out on course. Now a kick here from Phillips going right on by Vyausten. Can he jump onto his teammate's wheel? It's going to be interesting to see if he's able to do so here and try and get away. Parker here from the dirt team there in the brown and black and orange kit here. Oh, excuse me, brown and, is that brown and orange? Some with a nice little goatee here. Dad's Inside Riders riding trainers here. Phillips now looking to go. Not sure about the move here because the Watopia Healy forward KOM is about to come into view here in just a moment. It's going to make it very difficult for him to stay away with 7-8 watts per kilogram off the front here. But look at the times here, 140, 141. Belgi there with 141. They climbed at about 6 or 7 watts per kilogram, so I believe the times are a little bit slower on the KOM from what we can tell here. So let's go and take a quick look over at the social media interaction here. Oh, I missed the start. What other things are we testing today? We are testing to see if breakaways are going to be rewarded. We're not going to give exact specifics on it, but essentially we've got offensive power-ups are all on. Thank you so much for the question, for those of you that are wondering. Also, I want to do a quick reminder as well while we do look at the social media interaction from everybody as they're bringing it in. Matthew Ankow, so today we are testing the all offensive power-ups on double draft and a little bit of a background change to some of the settings for the pack. I'll say that. So we'll see how this ends up to reward. The idea for with what we did change is what we're aiming at is that the resources that the riders have will be rewarded more, but they'll be able to gain them more, right? So the one thing that you do have, and this actually comes from the mad scientist himself, that mad scientist himself, Greg Leo, and this was one of his comments, and it was that the resources or the things that we have to play with in game for tactics are our energy. That's essentially it. Our energy and the time that you have in the race and using that energy, right? And so I think the main thing here that we're looking at is we're looking to increase the resources that the riders have to work with in order to use skills and tactics to use them against the other riders, essentially. And energy is one of those things. So I wanted to increase the energy that the riders have for using those attacks, but also reward it more when they do go to use that energy. And so there is ways that we've done some things in the background that we'll let you guys know exactly what we do after the tests a week or two out. Did it work? Did it not work? And then change things up as necessary. So Vang here, though, from KRT, 6.8 watts per kilogram, looking to grab a little bit of a gap here. Bergen here now 5.2 watts per kilogram. Wilson as well as Billings. Looks like the group now at this point, with a lot of the heavy hitters being able to make it here. Casey Shum able to drop off Malhani as well as the Spanish rider, it looks like, Balenciaga. But it is 16, it looks like, off the front here. Phillips sitting in a little bit here, 180 beats per minute now as they come over the top. And we do have, it looks like, a gap here for Vang. He continues to put the effort in at 6.4 watts per kilogram. Phillips finds himself at the front. We'll see if he's able to hold on to this now. Now back in with the B category, though, as they are just starting their climb. Shayna here still hanging tough with the front runners, I think, here. Cox now trying to make his way over the top here. We are seeing Choppa, though, get to the Choppa's. Got a little bit of a gap here, 10.8 kilometers in, as you can see. Carson from 3R now closing it right on down. It's going to be Bundred as well as Witkowski now closing it down, too. Will they be able to drop off the Show Air 2020 rider, though? That's going to be the question. Bundred now attacking, going right on by. 180 beats per minute here coming from Bludgeon out of the UK here. The Chopper coming from Canada on the other side of the pond here, trying to close that down. 1 second's difference here. Carson going with it now. It looks like Witkowski dropping off Shoot coming out of South Africa. And it's going to be Paulus now. It's going to need to just hang on at this point if she wants to stay involved in this race. Let's go ahead and move to, looks like, Reese Howell here. Coming from Canyon ZCC. This is the director sportiste of Canyon ZCC. Good to see him out on course here and putting a little bit of the community live test labs onto his race Palomares. We'll see if he can get a good result out of the B category here. Love to have him in for an interview, just so you know, to have a little bit of chat afterwards, especially about where things are going with Canyon ZCC. We were chatting a little bit after the weekly wind-up yesterday with Viasen, and he was saying there's a lot going on with the team. And they're super interested in all the things happening with the community racing. So love to hear their opinions, though, as the feedback, especially from those who race the most and put a lot of effort in and resources and commitment, and investment into the world of Zwift racing in the community. Those are the people we definitely want to hear from, because we know they care. We know that they think about these things. We know that they are all about it. Now, here we go. This is what we were talking about. Vang on the downhill. You guys, when do you see this? On the downhill of the Watopia hilly route, after the KOM, Martin Vang has countered and gotten away, and the pack cannot just sit there and close it down. Casey Shum going backwards now at this point, but it's 12 seconds, and it continues to go out. It's great to see he's being rewarded for the effort that he's putting in here, and the pack doesn't just cruise up to him now. Viasen here now, 5.8 watts per kilogram, looking to come across. Copes is trying to go with it now. Looks like the speed that came down off of the mountain there, or the hill is essentially not the mountain. The mountain's out in the background there, but came off with a little bit of speed, so that will still be like in real life. The speed does, continue on here, but Vang, if he can hold on to this speed at this point, we'll see if he can hold on to this gap. 30 miles per hour currently coming from Vang, 32 though from the pack, as Bergen, now Viasen start to push it a little bit. That still does reward the group, though. If they give these little surges at the front, it will push the group forward, obviously, here. But it looks like Vane able to get a little bit of breathing room. 4.3 watts per kilogram. Wilson now doing some work for the KRT team to close things down here. So back in with the C category, though. They just climbed over the top of their forward KOM, it looks like here, and are on the downhill section. Currently sitting in 52nd place. It is going to be Shorgan Hummer here with Trout sitting on the wheel there, 11.8 kilometers in. Szymanski trying to close that down here, but it looks like Michael Szymanski off the back, fell off, it looks like, on that KOM here. Looks like Goodson sitting on his wheel. The BRT team about 24 seconds up from Szymanski. This is your top runners here in the C category, as it looks like Shorgenhammer here now from R2 on the break. And the close here from VL from the BRT team is looking to try and make that happen. Not sure it's going to happen, though, as there's a solid contingent of B riders here amongst the C category leader right now. Now, I am thinking a little, as we are doing the tests out here and trying to figure out exactly how we want to run these, I am thinking about maybe putting a little bit of a staggered start between the categories, perhaps. Make sure things aren't so mixed up. So this is our first trial run, obviously. I was seeing how a mass start would go with all the categories, though, separated out rather than just an E category and everyone category. I'm getting the feeling from a broadcast point of view and everybody being able to see things and split things out a little bit. We're going to give a little bit of a stagger, I think, next week. Let me know in chat what you think about that, but I think it'll help out a little bit for all of the categories to kind of have a better definition, and we'll be able to really give them the idea, give everybody an idea of exactly what's going on rather than having kind of this everyone. If everyone's going to be mixed in, then just call it everyone, I think. So, and we'll go that direction. So next week, we'll change things up, everybody, and we'll have a little bit of a staggered start between them. If they do catch each other, they catch each other. But maybe even we'll have it where they are called from each other and they're unable to see each other, and then we'll have isolated races between the categories out there. Getting some comments coming on through here from social media. And Racing Mike is saying that he loves the staggered, so loving the feedback, and we will most definitely keep it coming here. Please do. Chris McDonald, all over it there, buddy. We are seeing Chris saying... to Dwan Grain, it looks like Dwan was saying, I wouldn't put that past to run a placebo test. Okay, today is not a placebo test at this point, though. Just so you know, there are actually changes. Now, I did put that in the description, though, that we do not want the placebo confirmation bias thing. We do not want people thinking that they're, reading too much in and then getting the confirmation bias of what they believe about the game, and then what you believe about the game gets projected into the results. We do not want that, and we want the proof to be in the pudding. And here we go. The proof is going to be in the pudding with Lion Vyaztin if he continues at this crazy pace he's been setting. And him and Phillips, they have been nonstop, obviously communicating to try and make these breaks happen. 8 watts per kilogram here coming from Vyaztin. Phillips now following it up. Vang trying to close it down, but immediately they end up with 3 seconds off the front here. Martin Vang here, he's trying to close it down. Morton Vang from the KRT team. But if these two get off the front here and start working together with that double draft, they're going to keep the speed as high as they possibly can. And this is what this is all about. We want to reward teamwork like this as well, using the resources well within the game in order to try and make these breaks stick. And look at the speeds now. And it looks like it's working out as Phillips now starts to drive the pace. We saw them trade spaces. Now Vyaztin goes 7 watts per kilogram. It looks like Phillips just looking to hang on. Now it's going to be whether or not they can get into a rhythm. Belgi here now, 7.3 watts per kilogram coming from the Vision Rider trying to close things down. If they keep kicking at the front here, now this is again, may not be perfect the first time around. There may be a question that he needs to come in here about double draft or not, or a different kind of draft even as well. Maybe change that up a little bit here, as it looks like the pack is getting fairly rewarded from little kicks at the front here. But Vyaztin and Phillips here seem to be holding fairly well to this break here at this point. They're 2 laps in here now at this point. Phillips now 3.8 watts per kilogram sitting in. He's going to be able to rest up. Now they got to get into that rhythm. Tempo at the front. 5.0, 5.5, sitting at 4.1. We're seeing Phillips now looking for a little bit of a rest here. Will the resources build up here and be able to be used to try and stay away? It's a 7-second difference now. Are they breaking the pack? Is there going to be nothing left in the legs of the chasers now? But the Vikings here looking to try and get involved at the front here. 171 beats per minute currently coming from them. Iverson now, Gakes, Belgi here as well. All sitting toward the fronts, but they're letting it go here now, and it looks like it may succeed. This is the dangerous part, because when it starts to get a little bit of a lull, that's when you know the group is starting to give up just a little bit here. So I have a feeling with it looks like 18.5 kilometers to go in the race. We're about halfway through at this point here. They're 11.2. Well, we've got 2 different metrics here up at the top. Nice one, Nathan. This is the Nathan feed. We're logged in on my avatar for this race feed here. But Vyaztin here now sitting in again. Actually, well, 6.7 watts per kilogram. Maybe not sitting in, but they've got almost 10 seconds. If this goes out to 15, even 20, I think it's a serious threat, but that's what they got to get at this point. But at 181, there's some absolute suffering going on here out on course now. We'll come back to them as they do head into the climb. But let's see how things are working out here in this B category. It's going to be Carson now from 3R. It looks like Shayna was able to get back on terms with this group here. B category all back together. This is the lead group amongst the Bs. Looks like Cox as well as Carson. It's going to be Shoot, Lewis, and then Blundred. Wetstein is there as well. Solid contingent of riders here. A little ways off the back is going to be Witkowski. Barry Hagen in there from the A category here, as you can see. So for the women, though, Paulus leading things out. Absolutely killing it at this point. In my opinion, okay, so Adam Zimmerman, good to see, one of the most experienced racers out on Zwift, jumping in with a little bit of opinion here coming from him. In my honest opinion, everyone starts with the same power-ups, or no one uses them. Results should be about legs and lungs and not power-ups. I appreciate that very much. Adam Zimmerman, I think everybody having the ability to impact their power-ups in some way or another would be maybe a middle ground with that. You know, a little bit of luck coming in, a little bit. But at the same time, I think that there may be a situation where we could have, the power-ups maybe rewarded with power-ups could be a thing. You know, something we've been talking about a lot on a lot of the broadcasts for a long time. Now, we did see one of the riders here back into the A category did bridge across here, and it looks like it was Billions here from the BRT team here bridging across. Now Iverson, I think this is going to be a telling moment here out on course as Levi looks to come across here. Hodges as well, because Vyaztin as well as Phillips, I think, had the firepower to hang on to a 6 to 7 watt per kilogram climb here. Now the question is, will Levi go right on by here from the KRT team? Iverson trying to close things down. I think this is really going to put the herd into the pack, having to close down this gap here at this point. You can already see a couple of riders starting to fall off, and is that going to be Casey Shum, Team Experimental, saying, blown up, gone nuclear at this point. Bergen, is he going to be the next one here at 178 beats per minute? Van Geit, Phillips now trying to hang on after being off the front here. And going to the front, it's going to be a red kid of Kolbs here now, going across 181 beats per minute here coming from Kolbs now. Vang trying to close it down at 6.4 watts per kilogram. Maybe going to be trusting the pack, though, to bring that back. Van Geit here, 6.4 now as Zwift hypes Levi here in the KRT team look to just sit pretty and not really put in too much of an effort just yet, as I think they trust that it's going to come right on back. Now an arrow power up here coming from Vlossen, I believe that is. Phillips now going as well. It looks like little communication here coming from the ZCC team, I believe, as the Canyon team looks to perhaps put another dig in. I'd be so surprised if they could do so. 195 beats per minute here coming from Levi as he suffers over the top here out of the U.S. of A. Off the back just a little bit is going to be Belgium here trying to hang on, clawing his way back to Iverson's wheel, putting every ounce of energy. It looks like the heart rate just cannot budge one beat higher at this point, and he gets just barely back into the fold here now, but the damage has been done. Casey Shum off the back here. How many do we have left? It's whittling away. Now, quick little thing I do want to say is that usually amongst the double draft races, though, you see much larger packs, I believe, than 16 that we see here, especially with the kind of firepower that we're seeing within the game. Rooney, Shum is in there as well. Parker some of these riders here are some serious serious riders amongst the community that have been dropped off over the top here. So I definitely think that with double draft on, even so, it's whittled down a little bit more. So, and the hill is slower than normal. This is absolutely true. So, lap 3 was was fastest of race. So cooked, Casey Shade. And hey, everybody, definitely go and check out Casey Shum. He's most likely live right now. Another thing we definitely want to do, and we do have on the Zwift Community Live website, we do have a website, ZwiftCommunityLive.com, and on the website, we do have a partner section where we are going to start partnering with other streamers out there just to say, hey, here's where you can find all the people that have a high quality stream, right? We want to try and be a flagship out there in the world of streaming for Zwift and be like, here's the awesomeness that Zwift is, and then be able to show, hey, there's always some streams going on. Here's where the streams are that you'll be able to find a high quality stream to get some interaction, learn about Zwift, watch some Zwift racing, maybe watch some broadcasts. So make sure to check out ZwiftCommunityLive.com and go check out Casey Shum as he is live, he's saying. So go check him out, throw him a follow. He's live almost every day out there streaming Zwift. He's been around in the world of Zwift streaming from early on. I think I started in, January of 2015, and I believe Casey was streaming within 6 to 9 months of that, actually. So one of the first streamers out there as well. Looks like Lionel Vyas is also streaming on Twitch, we're being told, too, from Carissa. So thank you so much, Carissa, as well. So I believe if you go on, the one other thing I want everybody to know there as well is that we do have a promotional channel too over on the Discord. So if you do want to jump into the Discord, go ahead and grab that link. Carissa or one of the admins that are out there, if you could throw the link out there, I'd really appreciate it. If you don't have it, I will go ahead and find it for us too as well. But make sure to jump in the Discord. We will create, again, I want to remind everybody, we are going to create team channels for every team that needs one. And you will be able to then use that during the races that we are broadcasting so that we can have communication. And especially if you're using it for de-essing, if you have a director sportif. So if Canyon ZCC, just an example, has their director sportif in there and they're giving them information, right? There might be heavy breathing coming through from the athletes. Okay, maybe we need to mute them or maybe not bring them in. But the DS can come in and be like, all right, here's what they're thinking. Here's what's going on. Give a little bit of that team car environment here. So get into the Discord. Zwift Community Live Discord is up and running again. I'll grab it for you, Carissa. No worries. I'll grab it for you in just a second here and link it on over to you as well. But back in with the B category, though, as we're going to be heading into the final lap here in just a moment out on course. 30 minutes in, so I believe the race is going to be a little bit longer than usual out here today. But back in with the B category here, it's going to be Wachowski. Paulus here, it looks like, from Show Air 2020 with the solid weekend in Idaho, in Boise, Idaho this past weekend, racing with the Christian Armstrong, it looks like TT, as well as the Twilight Criterium here. Now jumping out on Zwift on a Tuesday here to hammer away amongst these boys here. Now Barry on the attack, though, from the BRT team, looking to try and get away, 155 beats per minute, with a lap and a half to go here. And it looks like they've got, it's going to be, boom, 12.7 kilometers to go out on course here now. Things have really calmed down. I think all of the crazy attacks have absolutely put the hurt into all the riders here. Shorgan Hummer here from R2, as well as VL from the BRT team here, have really been at each other's throats here, back and forth, heavy hitting here. Reese has been trying to hang on. It looks like Davis here from Cryogen's been keeping it calm, though, for the A category. Szymanski here, though, 19 seconds back, looking to claw his way back here into the race. 175 beats per minute. He's kind of in no man's land. He's being chased by Cockwell, is going to be there. McDonald, as well as Jay Beiser there from Team Experimental. Bartley's in there as well. So 32-second gap. He's got 19 seconds up to the leaders. The win is still within sights. Or there's also off the podium, off the back there in the 7th and 8th place. So Szymanski's got his work cut out for him here now. We'll see if he can bring things back for those leaders. But they've got two up front there in this C category and still getting gaps over VL here, as it's going to be Schorgenhammer now. Trout now with a little bit of an aero power up, looking to go as the PTZ rider here looks to try and get away and attacking here from the B category here, working a little bit, though, perhaps with those C category riders. Back in with the A's, though, this is going to be the question. What is going to be happening between these riders? Excuse me, not the A's. This is the B category. Just a couple of A's in and amongst them. But the A's are actually heading through the sprint section out on course here. Let's go ahead and see where they're at. Now, as they do head into the sprint section, look at how things have completely calmed down. I think everybody essentially just, it's like you're out on the battlefield just demolishing each other. Eventually, they look at each other. Can we just take a break? This hurts too much. This is just hurting way too much. I did get a conversation with Gakes here. I do know that he does have looking to do some Zwift on board stuff as well. If you are looking to do some Zwift on board stuff, please let us know, as we are looking to do some of that old school stuff that we had. Glenn Knight and Kiss Racing Team, as well as Zwift Power, helped put that together. We got a couple other new ways of bringing people's feeds in. So if you do ever want to bring your feed in, we're open to that. You definitely want to make sure the quality is good. We want to make sure it makes sense to the race. Perhaps having a little bit of communication as well with your team in the Discord. But Vyastin there with a little bit of kick. Does he have any matches left, though, is going to be the question. Does look to be hurting the pack, though, quite a bit here, as Jager now tries to hang on. Gakes, though, with a little bit of attack here. Gakes here, out of the Netherlands, 3R. Look at the stringing out here. Gakes now looking like he's got a little bit of daylight here, starting to break the clouds. Thought maybe this is going to work here, but KRT now, as they go right on through that section, closes it right on down. Vyastin now. Is he going to counter? Wilson, looks like Phillips now sitting in. Van Guyt on the back here, 5.7 watts per kilogram, 113 RPMs. Talk about spinning to win out here today. As things do calm down, let's go ahead and take a quick look over. Now, quick mistake by my part here, though. For the C category, we are on the last lap, actually, I believe, for the C category, as they have three laps out there today. So we'll be following in for the finish of the C category as well as the D category in just a minute. As soon as the C category does finish, we'll click backwards and we'll look to find the D category, make sure to be covering their race as well. Solid effort here, though, from VL and Schorgenhammer as they're looking to finish up their race here. It looks like they'll be able to make this happen as Szymanski is 53 seconds back. Szymanski just has to hold on for another, it looks like, most likely about, I would say, about 5-6K. Maybe even 7K to the finish line here at this point. We're seeing Adam Zimmerman saying Kops is sitting in quite comfortable for him. Alan Lowe saying Jonathan Levi is so. I love these comments here coming on through. But Alan Lowe, good to see Alan. It's been a little while. But Jonathan Levi is saying so technologically inclined. He's probably sitting on a couch playing Zwift with an Xbox controller and using the right stick to control his HR. And I wouldn't put it past him. No offense, Levi. But I love it. You got this over there to Szymanski, I believe. Come on, Racing Mike. That's from Chris, as I do believe they're watching over on the Twitch channel and cheering on Szymanski. We'll see if he can hold on for that third place. 57 seconds. McDonald, though, trying to chase him down as we look back at the suffering here for the KRT team. 2.8 watts per kilogram on the downhill here. That 9 kilometers is not actually correct, though, for Szymanski. He's looking to make his way to the line. But the A category, super calm at this point, everybody. And I think the reason being, as they head into their final lap, is they're all waiting for that final attack. Now, I'm not sure if what I mean is, like, there's going to be this flurry, I think, over the top of this climb. And if somebody can get away and power away from this group, it will be for the win. I think a few of these riders in here are going to be doing exactly that. They're going to be looking to not have a sprint situation. And Vuasen here, as well as Phillips, being the main instigators, I think, they're out there today, are looking to probably make that happen. Now, but Van Geit has been very quiet on the day. Let's take a look at some of the power outputs out here today, as that's going to be very telling as well. Billings here, who I believe is still in amongst, yes, for the BRT team, 4.4 watts per kilogram. Gakes, 3.9 watts per kilogram. Talk about reservation. Copes here now as well, 4.0. We're seeing Iverson there at 4.6, so a little bit higher there, but obviously Lionel at 4.8. Morton Vang at 5.0. These boys have put in the brunt of the work. Berghain as well there from the Vikings team at 4.8 watts per kilogram. What has Phillips been sitting at? James, what is Phillips' highest watts per kilogram so far? It looks like 4.3 watts per kilogram from Phillips here. James Phillips there with a solid effort as well. But here comes Morten Vang now, 10 watts per kilogram. This is what we were waiting for, what we were talking about. The KRT team, the Norwegian rider here, immediately grabs 4 seconds. Right off the bat, talk about a gap with 10 watts per kilogram going by some of the D riders here, holding solid here now, and that's a 4-second gap that's going to be very painful to hang on to, but will he suffer for it? A burrito power-up now here coming from Wilson, not looking to let anybody grab onto his wheel. Vang now 7.3 watts per kilogram, 185 beats per minute. Can he hold on to the gap here? Will they be able to respond? There have been so many matches burned at this point, though, but I think some of the smarter riders just sitting in and following wheels, and Gakes is one I'd be watching out for when it comes to following the wheels out here today, because he has been very calm. Down, and we're talking 3.9 watts per kilogram, 4.0 watts per kilogram from Copes. These boys have been just waiting for their moment to pounce here, and this may be it. But Vang here putting a little bit of a wrench into that, though, perhaps, with this 4-second gap. Now, the question is, once he gets caught, will they just go right over the top and go flying right on by? But Copes here now, 7.2 watts per kilogram. If they do close this down, it's really going to be all about getting across without too many riders on the wheel here. And with the double draft on here, it does look like it's going to be rewarding here, the rest of the group, to be able to hang on still as they do head on through that KOM banner. Vang here trying to hold on to 4 seconds. It's a solid gap, but he had to sacrifice so much. We saw 10 watts per kilogram earlier. Here he comes over the top here. Vang 6.1. Where's the continuance? Will he be able to continue here? Copes here now 4.8. Does it calm on down, though, as they come over the top? Vang with a solid effort here. 5.6. Now 184 beats per minute. 328 watts now out to 7 seconds. The pack calms down, and here we go. The Viking here maybe trying to get across, but Morten Vang with 5.8. He may be able to pull this off if it continues to go out. This is reminding me of a Cartwright attack over the top. We've seen him do it before. We've seen Allenby. We've seen Cartwright. We've seen some of these TT efforts. Is Morten Vang suddenly a TT rider, the Norwegian, looking to ride away? Vuasen here sees it as a threat, goes into 8 watts per kilogram. The Belgian from Canyon now going across. He's got the kick. Are they on his wheel still? It looks like Copes here now closes it down. He's got to get a gap or the whole group is going to come right along with him. But look at the pack. They're all suffering. It's getting strung out. The elastic is snapping now as Gakes cannot hold on to the wheel here. Hodge is now kicking into 9 watts per kilogram now as well as they're coming through this section up into Vang here still. It looked like I thought they were going to grab onto his wheel, but no, it looks like it's going to be still a solid gap here. Still out to 6 seconds now as Bergen tries to shut it down, but it's just too much of an effort here from Vang. And this is one of those situations where you roll off the front, they think they're going to bring it back. They calm it right on down, but then you just continue, and then it goes right back out because they've got to get back on the wheel here. Morten Vang, 6.7 watts per kilogram. Another kick, 7 watts per kilogram from him. They're trying to do everything they can. Another Norwegian. It's going to be far up here now trying to come across their 10 watts per kilogram kick from him. It looks like it's shut down, but at what sacrifice is going to be the question here within this A category. And Willis now, it looks like off the back. Well, Willis actually wasn't a part of it at all. So, but it's going to be Jagger. Willis now actually was dropped off very early on. I think we're going to get a lull now after that last time over the top lap 4 on the Hilly Watopia here. What a race here out here in the first of the Zwift Community Test Labs. Back in with the B category, though, as they make their final attempt at this climb here, the ascent here. Cox is there, Wetstein's there as well. We're looking at the chop, and now Shayna now falling off a little bit. She's going to have to hold on to the wheel here. Pete Lewis here from the 3R team now, 3.6 watts per kilogram, trying to go across, it looks like here, holding on to the wheel of Lewis. It's only a 2-second gap now at this point. We'll see if she can get across and make this happen. It looks like the gap is opening up here. She's still the number 1 woman out on course, though. Amongst the women here, still in first place, it looks like. Lewis, though, with 6 watts per kilogram, looks to be able to get across here. Paulus now kicks into 7, though. We'll see if she can hold on to that pace. We're heading into the final here for the C category, though. Let's make sure that we do catch that as they do head into the final 500 kilometers now. Schorgenhammer now, it looks like here, able to drop off VL. No, VL's leading things out. Excuse me. VL's actually going to lead this out here. Where is the arrow power-up? That's going to be the question. Who has one? Is there going to be a ghost power-up, though? We'll see who uses what here as they head into the finish line here. Trout there from PTZ now hanging in top. They're waiting right to the last moment here. About 400 meters to go. And this is a little bit of a lull right before the kick, as it is Schorgenhammer here sitting into the wheel there. It looks like he's trying to time this perfectly now. VL now starting to ramp it up, 4.8 watts per kilogram. Where's the go? There it is, 9.8 watts per kilogram coming from the German rider there with an arrow power up. The response is there, but maybe too little too late. I'm not sure he's going to be able to pull this off as it's right to the line, but no, Schorgenhammer now is going to be able to, it's bike lengths upon bike lengths, and the German takes it down for the C category. Solid result there for him. We'll go ahead and move our way backwards to try and jump in with the D categories. They're going to be finishing up here in just a second. Let's jump back in with the A's, though, as we do see Meltentalo here now looking to start his final lap. But this is the A category here with Gakes as they head on over into the Italian village. We'll be jumping back in with the D's here in just a second as they're about to finish up their race. It is going to be Johnny Boy here, I do believe, who is off the front in that D category. Quick little mention to him. Did win 2 weeks ago in the Chop Racing, actually. Presented by AHDR. Good to see him out here racing in the Zwift Community Live broadcast as well for the new test labs now. But Gakes here, race 3R, sitting in 157. Where's the attacks? It looks like it's calmed all right on down as they head into the sprint section out on course here. Bergen putting in the work. Chased down his countryman, that's for sure, as he saw Vang going off the front there. Interesting to know if they raced against each other in real life. Far up here now, let's go ahead and throw down some ride-ons. Lervinson now from the Vikings team. Vikings have shown up in force, obviously. Bergen, Lersvin, Veen, Van Geit, though, out there. Solo, I believe, in this lead group, I believe, for his team. BZR out there, though, and we'll see if they can throw down. That's a sweet-looking kit, actually. I don't know if I've actually noticed that kit. Belgian Zwift riders here. Hammering away on that Pinarello Dogma right now. Billions now from the BRT team making his way forward. KRT now. Wilson trying to set up. Not going much of anywhere. Hanging out in the light blue and dark blue with the Type 2 font on the side there. Vyasen here now sitting in quietly. Now, what's interesting is we probably haven't noticed the use of the ghost power-ups at all, actually, because there is just a reality that we don't have the client that will show us just like the transparent. So there might be people just like disappearing, and we just didn't notice because they just disappeared. So we'll see if there's any more disappearing. I think there was a couple of attacks with some disappearing people that were just like, oh, they're off the front. How did they get there? And we didn't realize it was because of an attack, actually. Vang now does not want the sprint at the line here as he looking to get away. 9 watts per kilogram here coming from Vang, and the attack is on. Vyasen looks to close it right on down here, and not going to be able to do so immediately here. A lot of matches have been burned by Vyasen. Now with the feather power up, Vang is using that to the best advantage, lowering that weight on this 5% uphill gradient on this section of the course. We're out on the Essies here, and will he be able to hold on to this gap here for up near 7.5 watts per kilogram? De Jager here as well. It looks like Bergen is now trying to close it down. And now going across, it's going to be De Jager now coming out of the Netherlands. And 1 second is the gap. Will Vang be able to hold on? They slow on down. And as you can see, the second he backs off, boom, the speed slows right on down. And it looks like solid result. Johnny Boy now just coming across the finish line, just so everybody knows. We'll get the replay of that from the D category in just a moment, as he did just come across the finish line. Vang gets shut right on down. Will there be a counterattack? Bergen now goes on through. He was just looking to shut it down at 183 beats per minute, though, it looks like. Stay with me, truck. We're hearing from Vincent Davis now as he's asking for a little bit of assistance, it sounds like, coming to the line here. Or at least to shut things down, as it looks like he's trying. There was actually Lervsteen, it looks like. Lervsteen now from the Vikings used that ghost power up, and that's what it looks like when they pop back in. That almost looked like something out of Harry Potter. Or like, that was like Alice in Wonderland when she like shrunk and then all of a sudden grew again. It wasn't like he was like invisible. It was like he was mini and then all of a sudden grew. That was like one of the coolest things I've ever seen in Zwift. It was like he had drank the drink me potion in Alice in Wonderland, shrank, and then drank the get big potion and got big again all of a sudden. That's one of the coolest animations I've ever seen in Zwift. Far up here now, it looks like 3.5 calming right on down. It looks like it is going to be a sprint amongst the group. It's going to come down to the arrows again. So maybe need a couple adjustments that, you know, we were looking at it being a situation where efforts would be rewarded. I do believe they felt like they were rewarded a little bit more than usual here. 47 minutes in, I believe we're at at the kind of pace that we've seen, probably 3 minutes slower than we usually would see, I think, or so, for the kind of effort that we've seen so far. I am looking at the social media integration. We'll be bringing it in as best as we possibly can. And the French Swifter saying the first time I see the ghost power up, laughing there. Vyasen now open it up, and it's going to be Jagler here now going out of the Netherlands. He's got the arrow power up. There's all the arrow power ups. Both of the Canyons ECC riders got them. But Copes, 12 watts per kilogram coming from him. Will he be able to make this happen? But here comes, it looks like Phillips with 17 watts per kilogram, showing us he knows how to sprint, but it's still an arrow power up. But Levi, it's right at the line. We'll have to wait for the results. The official results will have to show us, because that's going to need the back end API, because my eyes are lying to me here. I'm not sure the kind of craziness I just saw in effort, but also in the wheel lengths that were coming to the line there. Shayna Paulus now, it looks like solo here, trying to close it down to Blundred, and Blundred with that feather. What an effort there all around there. And just so everybody knows, everybody who just raced, we're still finishing up with the B category. We'll look at the D replay in just a moment. But I just, again, want to say thanks to everybody making it such an awesome event for our launch event here. So many riders had shown up. Very cool to see. And we definitely want your feedback on how it played out. In the document that we send out for that feedback, we will give you a little bit more information about what we actually did, and we want to know exactly what you thought about what we did. We want to know exactly how you felt it played out, as well as maybe a suggestion of how you think we might be able to do some things. We will read all the feedback, and we will make adjustments. It's a long process, everybody, just so you know. We're going to be doing this week in and week out. We want to make this the place for a long time about how we are doing new things on the platform. This isn't just a few times and done, and we're going to get a little bit better situation. No, we want to keep on adding and adding and adding and growing, or taking away maybe things that don't help with racing or whatever it might be. So just so you know, watch out for the document. We'll be listing it over on the socials if you did race. Or maybe we'll figure out a way to get it to you directly as well. We'll see if we can make that happen, rather than just having a public thing where people are just giving their opinions who didn't even race. We'll try and stay away from that. We definitely want participation and the proof to be in the results here. But now we are looking at stall here. Now it looks like the break did happen. We were looking at the chase there of Shayna Paulus as she's making her way to the line there as number one amongst the women out on course. But it's going to be Wachowski here with Cox now looking to finish up the B category. Going to be the last ones to finish on the day, doing 4 laps here. And it looks like coming into, I want to see real quick. I'm going to go ahead and see. And it looks like, yeah, so that was an A category for 0 kilometers to go. So the A category has finished, and that's where it is tracking there. But Cox here now, 6.3 watts per kilogram now, 6.7. The Irishman now leading things out. Trying to calm it on down, it looks like here. 184 beats per minute now. But the Choppa's going 9 watts per kilogram from the Canadian. Looking to get away. The man himself here. Get to the Choppa. Trying to go. And it looks like it's going to be rewarded with 5 seconds. He's getting away at this point. Parker from the Dirt Team trying to jump back onto his wheel from the A category as the B rider goes flying right on by. Choppa's going to have to hold on to this. Is shooting now from South Africa with 9 seconds is saying, oh, shoot, he's gone off the front now. And the Choppa, as we look behind him here, looks to have the gap that's needed. I don't think it's going to be closed down because he's going to have Parker to help him out to the line. This A category group here, he bridged the gap right onto them. Here comes the aero power up now coming from, it looks like, Jean F here from R2, 11 watts per kilogram coming from him. And where's the Choppa? 5.5 watts per kilogram coming from Choppa. It doesn't look like he's got the effort at this point to close this down. Choppa might be caught out. We'll have to wait and see. This is the sprint for the A category. Looks like John's going to walk away with that one. Let's make sure we watch the B, though, as this is all about the win in the B category. And it looks like it is going to be Choppa. 5.5 watts per kilogram. Wachowski now trying to close it down. There's orange numbers coming from behind, but that's not going to be enough. Too little, too late. Wachowski now takes second. It looks like Weinstein for third, right at the line, perhaps nipped. We'll have to wait and see in the replay as well as the official results there. What a race out here today. Amazing job all around between all of the riders. Let's get a little bit of interaction here. We've got a lot of chatter here coming through from YouTube. This is one of the first times we've seen just YouTube absolutely blowing up. So good to see everybody over on YouTube that's been hanging out. Keith Robertson, good to see you. What a great race to watch, to be honest. Thanks a lot, Keith Robertson. Appreciate it. David Billings says, yeah, it was a great race. Thanks, David. Appreciate it. Very, very much. Looked exciting. Could be interesting, Matthew. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. You guys, just so you know, first go. You know, you start a test labs, right? You jump into the test labs. You got a hypothesis. You test the hypothesis, and then you go and you go again, and you go and you go again. And it's all about not necessarily failed tests, but it's about learning from the results, right? And that's what we want to do. We want to learn from the results now in the test labs. Keep showing up. It's going to be every Tuesday. Every Tuesday. We're looking at the time might change a little bit. Some people are saying the time is a little bit early. Some are saying that another times we're looking at a little bit late. We'll try and hit the perfect time for that. Everybody can get involved as we possibly can. But D, winner replay, bringing it right on in right now. Just wanted to interact with the socials just a little bit there, but I appreciate the reminder there, Martin. We will most definitely, we're not going anywhere just yet. Since it is a Zwift Community Live, a little bit more like community space, we'll chat a little bit here as well, everybody, as we don't have to just take off right away. I believe I sure hope I have the D replay. I may have not selected. Oh, guys. Nathan might have messed something up, guys. We'll have to wait and see. I believe I was recording 2 of the feeds. I don't have the 3rd feed. I made a promise I can't fulfill, I think, you guys, as I'm not sure I have the 3rd feed up here. You know, this is what happens. I've broken my own rule, you guys, and I've gone in the lava.
India. No, don't go. I showed you, don't go in the lava.
So, yeah, sorry about that, guys. We threw I think we threw the D replay in the lava. I think that's what happened here. I'm looking through to see if I can find a D replay for you right now, but it's looking like we may have messed up the D replay for you. So apologies on that, everybody. I was recording 3 feeds, I thought, but it was actually only 2 feeds because of the quick setup. There was a couple of last-minute things going on there. So, but here's the replay for the A category. It looks like De Jager here, along with Copes now following it up there, coming to the line. And the amazing kick, though, at the last second from James Phillips, just 15 watts per kilogram, absolutely demolishing it there. Hodges, though, trying to come through. Levi, look at the late attack from Levi. It was so close, so almost perfectly timed. perfectly timed attack there coming from Levi there, but not quite able to come across. Let's go ahead and see if we can get to the official results for the A category here. But it was Hodges we're seeing here, was able to pull it off here. Phillips, 0.03 hundredths of a second. Levi there, 0.048 there. Line of Lawson now fourth place. Igor Kolbs there. Thought Kolbs was going to hang on, but he led the whole pack out for fifth place. It looks like they're half a second back. Bergen. Gaggs there as well. Now we are seeing Wilson then. It's going to be Pico de Jager, and this could be Guillaume Belgi here. So that was the situation out there for the test labs for the A category. Let's go ahead and see if we can get our next set of results up for the C category. Again, just real quick reminders with Community Test Labs. Make sure to hit that follow button anytime that we do go live. I do believe we're going to have some new results here up for the B category as well as the C's and the D's in just a moment here, as we do want to look through some of the chatter, though, coming through from the socials as well. Refund for the DCAT sprint. I know. Guys, we'll try and get you a refund. I'll pay you all of the money back that you've paid for this broadcast. 100%. Giving it to you right now. There you go. You got it back because you've already got it. There you go. Nothing for nothing. It's racing is fun again now that Zwift and or computer not crashing anymore. New A&T sick. Good to hear, Racing Mike. And it's great to see you back in the broadcasting here as well. And with the B category, get to the chopper with that late attack, followed up by Marshall Witkowski. Then it was Michael Cox, Patrick Wetstein, and then it's going to be G.I. Blundred. Shayna Paulus comes through, and that's going to be your first overall amongst the women, I believe, as well. Paul Lewis, and then Stephen Carson. It's going to be Basti Eichen, as it is, and then the plumber is out there killing it as well. Good to see the plumber showing up on the day. C category. Until next week. See you later, David Billings. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Bergen, man, that looked so hard. Bergen, like well, this is why you do it, because if you put in the effort to chase down those kinds of things, man, I mean, Zwift now and win later. I think that's exactly why you're doing this. But, man, absolutely amazing. The FTP increase we're hearing from. That's awesome to see, to hear that you got an FTP increase off of the test labs today. Absolutely love to hear that. Great job out there. And Vyastin saying he loves the carnage. Guys, I want to hear from the A categories. I want to hear from some of these guys at the A category and stuff. What did you guys think? Let's have a chat about that and see if we can, Zwift Community Live, maybe what we'll do is we will invite you guys over to the weekly windup, or maybe even we'll have a live special after the test labs to get some, maybe we'll get like 3 or 4 of the racers from different categories to see what their feeling was, what their feedback is. We could do live feedback. Let's do that. We got cameras, we got mics, make it happen. And this was brutal. I felt the difference, I think I'm hearing. Choppa used the ghost perfectly and tacked the curve of the... Oh, okay, so that was a ghost power-up. Carney, I didn't realize that was actually a ghost power-up because he just disappeared. But thanks, Nathan. Great racing we're hearing from Stevie Kidd. He says, I lost the internet at lap 3 and thought everyone around had dropped the ghost power-up. Stevie, love to hear it. That's awesome. Jonathan Levi is saying, I love the burrito. I found myself back... on the back of the front pack, picking off riders off guard, and it definitely made me push harder myself when others used it that way. Nice, Jonathan. Love to hear that. Great to hear. Ghost Power Up needs some practice because my timing is even more important than for the arrow. Yeah, so I saw that where some people would use the Ghost Power Up, and then all of a sudden they just pop in. And they're at the front of the pack and they just kind of ghosted to the front. So there's some timing there to surprise everybody, I think. C category though, it's going to be Ingo Schorgenhammer, followed up by Vin Lamb from the BRT team, Michael Szymanski from the KRT team there, Chisholm McDonald, followed up by Julian Beiser, Phil Well, 488, and it's going to be Eddie Stoffman. Good to see you out there from the TFC team. Been a while, buddy. Solid result there coming in for him. These are the overalls, just so you guys know, but the top spots there for the podium, as you can see. It's top 10 is what it is, but that's why it says 44, 45, 46. We'll try and get that updated for you guys. We need to separate the categories. That's why. That's on our end to just make it so that they're all culled from each other. But John Wakefield, solid result there for 7th place. Now the D category, Johnny Boy. I pushed the replay button for you. I thought I had it, but he came across solo. It was just him all by himself. So I guess maybe not the most exciting replay, but pretty exciting for him to get across the line there with a gap of 4:37. Thomas Suwalski followed up for Team PL, followed up by Dan Turton, then Wendy Gallagher. Solid result for her out there. Good job for Team Fearless out there, Gallagher, amongst the women as well. Richard Boswell, and then it's going to be Damon McKay and Stephen Palmer. I'm not sure if we have a women's results. If we do, let us go ahead and put those up there. Super magic person behind the curtain helping with all the awesome things. And we will, if we do have a women's, let me wait to see if that pops in. We're probably losing all the viewership here at this point. But nice work, TFC. Tony Kaplan saying 209 max for longer than I've ever had. That flipping brutal. All right, so the changes did the things to make you suffer at least. So we'll call it the test labs. It's just like the suffer labs. Zwift Community Live test labs / suffer labs is what we have going on here, it seems like. So again, I'm going to say it one more time, everybody. The Discord. If you have a team, get into the Discord and we'll get you we will get you a channel specifically for your team. Okay? Jump into that Discord, and we will use that for Racer DS, team car stuff. We'll have somebody there chatting with you that's from productions that'll say, hey, you want to go chat? They'll be checking in with everybody. How's it going? They'll drag you into my broadcast. I'll be like, hey, you'll be able to hear Nathan. And then we'll be like, hey, how's it going? You'll be like, shut up. I don't want to talk right now. My heart rate's through the roof, but it's going okay. As it usually goes when things are happening out there. So we're seeing another FTP increase we're hearing here from Barry Blumenkooper, I believe it is. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for jumping into the race, and I'm so glad to hear that you got an FTP increase. That's exactly why we do what we do here as well. So I'm not sure that we do have women's results. It doesn't look like it's going to be happening. I believe our call has been disconnected for that. So, all right, everybody. Again, thanks everybody for tuning in. Be on the watch out for the survey. We're gonna write it. I still have to write it up, but it's gonna go out before next week. We'll get some feedback from all of you about how the first test labs went, what you thought was good, what you thought wasn't good. We'll try and get it to you guys directly, like I said. And thanks everybody for tuning in. I really appreciate all you guys. It's been a great time. It feels like how it's like been a while, kind of a thing. You know what I mean? So cheers, everybody. I really appreciate everybody hanging out. Hit those follow buttons. You know what I'm going to say. Well, am I? How about just we'll leave with this as well as right on.
I told you, don't go in the lava. I'm going faster. Wait,